Hey YouTube, my name is Ryan and welcome to my YouTube channel Investing with Ryan. In today's video we're going to answer the main question that everyone always has. How do I get started wholesaling? Specifically land. This channel is going to primarily be focused on land, at least to start. It's not all I do, but it is a hot topic and people are jumping in every day. I get 15-20 messages on Facebook every day with people that are just asking me very basic questions. And so I feel it's important to address pretty much all these questions that people have and make some videos and just kind of sharing a little bit of what I've learned over in my time of investing with everyone else. So one of the number one ways to get started, and in my opinion it has to be where you start, is getting educated. I get messages from people and I can't even tell you like how often it happens that people are messaging me and asking me like the most basic questions. You know, like even if the owner agrees with me, you know, what do I do next? And I'm thinking in my head, it should be, you know, it's kind of common sense. It's, hey, I need to lock up the deal by sending them a contract. But it's not common sense because a lot of people are just, you know, they're getting influenced by other people and they're just kind of jumping into the game, and it's okay. Like, you can definitely go that style, but there's gonna be a lot of hard lessons to learn. So my number one thing is really getting educated. So that, for me, it starts with YouTube. YouTube was a huge thing for me. I'm one of those people, I've watched pretty much every influencer, every type of person that has a YouTube platform and they offer any type of education I've watched. Jerry Norton is one of my personal favorites, so shout out to Jerry. I've learned an insane amount from him, and he's really one of the people that kind of got me started in the business. Another thing you can do is you can find podcasts, books, you know, you kind of just, that time that you would normally be watching Netflix or you're driving to work and you want to listen to music, instead of that, just put on a podcast, or instead of watching Netflix, watch some YouTube on, you know, something that you're interested in learning. For me, it started with real estate. It wasn't even specifically land for me, it was just real estate, and I became obsessed with it. I would watch video after video. I was still working at my regular job, and I would just grind videos all day long, like maybe 3 hours a day, educating myself every single day. And then on the weekends, even longer, you know? So one of the key things is you want to find your niche. So I'm going to assume you're at this channel and has to do with land. So for me, you'd want to go on YouTube and type in X amount of land, or how to buy land, or getting started in land, just the most basic videos that you can think of. And then you kind of go from there and you can fall into the rabbit hole and kind of get influenced a little bit. So you really got to make the decision with land. There's so many different ways you can go. One of the more common ways is infill lots, and another one is larger acreage. So infill lots, just simply broken down, is kind of like what a home builder would look for, you know, quarter acre, half acre. Some areas it's a full acre, and it's development in the area. So that's one thing, like especially in our market, a lot of people are getting involved with is infill lots. So if you ever hear that term infill lots, just think of like a regular subdivision. The other option is like larger acreage, where, you know, you have all different types of land. You can set up campgrounds, hunting land, all this different stuff. So you can really go in either direction, but the number one step is getting educated and kind of finding your niche. You know, what are you interested in? What do you think is easiest? And then the second thing really, and some people say that this is the first thing, but like I said, education to me is just so important. The first thing is education. Second thing for me is finding a market. So let's say you find your niche and, you know, you decide, hey, I want to do infill lots. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by going into your state. So for me, I'm in Florida. So we're going to click on Florida over here in Zillow. And then we can go through and we can make all these changes to the, you know, the criteria that it's searching for. So we're going to start by deselecting all and clicking on lots and land. And then we're going to go into here into the more option. And this is where you can really filter out a lot of things. So what we'll start with is lot size. So if we're looking to do infill lots, we can start maybe with no minimum. You know, maybe in some areas 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet gets you a house. I'm not familiar with that in my area. But what we'll do is we'll do pretty much 0 to 1 acre. And really, when you're looking for land, that's kind of the only filter that you really need to do to get, you know, results. And the other thing you can do is you want to look for maybe solds. So you want to make sure that, you know, of course listings matter too, but you want to kind of narrow down the sold. So maybe let's see where you've sold in the last 90 days, and we can kind of see where these pockets are. So you look right away, Tampa catches my eye. This whole West Coast, like you got a lot of transactions going on over here. And you can even narrow this down a little bit more specific, and we'll do that in a second. But I'm just kind of showing you like the main thing that you wouldn't want to go into just Arcadia necessarily and rely on infill lots to be selling here, because it's going to be harder for you to find comps first off. And one key thing when you're getting started is you want to have comps. It's going to make it the easiest for you. When you're able to see like an apples to apples comparison on, you have a piece of land, seller wants 20,000, and you see the one next door just sold for 15. It's like, hey, this probably isn't the best deal. But if you're out in Arcadia, and I'm picking on Arcadia for no reason, I've done a couple deals there actually, but in Arcadia, if you have nothing going on, it's like, hey, someone may be asking 20 and maybe you think it's a good deal. And, there's unknown factors that you're not aware of, and it only comes with being an expert in the market, or getting educated. So one market that I'm going to kind of, focus on here is going to be Lehigh Acres, because that's really where the whole land business got started for me. And you can see in Lehigh, there's just, in the last 90 days, 1,400 sales is crazy. Like a lot of markets, a lot of busier markets, higher populated markets, these kind of areas, well, not these kind of areas, but in the higher populated markets, like home sales won't even be this much. So for you to have land selling at this kind of volume, it's like, hey, you're going to know that this market for you to jump into, you're going to have comparables that are out there. And we can get rid of the days on Zillow, and let's see how many actives. You've got 2,100 actives in Lehigh, and I'm just pointing out one simple state. So you can do this in pretty much any other state, but where you really want to focus is where the pockets are. So where there's a lot of transactions going on. So another one that comes to mind for me is North Carolina. So we'll just type in, actually we can just click on the state. So if we zoom out a little bit more, we can just click on North Carolina right here, and it'll give you a breakdown. So active pieces of land in North Carolina, you got almost 7,000 results. And if we go to sold, just to confirm that you got a lot of sales happening, and I kind of always go back to 90 days. You got 3,400 sales in the last 90 days in North Carolina. So this tells me it'd be a good market. And then you kind of want to go outside of like a major city. So you find one of these major cities, and Zillow makes it super easy for you. They're written with huge letters. You got Charlotte, Winston-Salem. You go outside of there and you can find little pockets where land is selling, and within your criteria. That's the key thing. Now if you want to go larger acreage, you can do that too. It all really works. So after you find a market, and I recommend, if possible, your home market will just make your life a little bit easier. It's a little bit more comfortable for people, especially starting out. So you find your home market. So let's say you live in North Carolina, you find your market. So you've gotten educated and you found your market. So now what's going to be the third thing to do is going to really be networking with other people. So for me, the way I like to network is through Facebook. I'm huge on Facebook. I love talking with people on Facebook. I message 20, 30 people a day. I'm responding to messages all day long. I get deals sent to me left and right. A lot of times they're not in the areas where I'm asking to buy deals, but I still get them sent to me either way. So I'm always talking on Facebook. I have a presence on there for sure. And that for me is the best way to market. I'm in maybe 60 Facebook groups, all related to land and areas where I like to do deals, and investor meetup groups and all that kind of stuff. So you can go to meetups. They're free often, or like $20. It's pretty affordable. You can go there and just stay quiet, and just kind of pick other people's brains. You'll hear other people talking about their struggles, and you're like, man, that's a struggle for you. Like, I'm trying to get my first deal, and you can learn a lot from these people at these meetups. And you build connections with people too, especially if you're getting started. You tell people, hey, I'm looking to get my first deal. People are going to get excited because they're going to want to work with you, because you don't have any deals yet, so you don't have any bad habits. Maybe you're willing to learn. There's a lot of things there's a lot of benefits to being new that people kind of overlook. And the more you're in a business, the more you think you know what you're doing. But the most dangerous thing is, like, you don't know what you don't know. And when you're new, you feel like you don't know anything. And when you've been in the business for a while, some people feel like they know everything. And, I've been doing this for over 3 years now, and I still feel like I don't know anything, and I can be hard on myself sometimes with that, but it is what it is. It's how you grow into, a smarter, more educated person. So networking with people is huge. So you get educated, you find your market, and then you network with other people and you start building connections in Facebook groups and all that. So now the fourth step, and this is really the toughest one for me to gauge, especially in this first video of how to get started, because this part is going to really be based off of how much money you have to start. So if you don't have a lot of money to start and you're looking to get started for $0, let's say, there's certain ways that you're going to move in this business, and it's going to be a whole lot different than someone that has $10,000 that they're willing to throw into this. Something as simple as a system like PropStream. I've used PropStream since day one of starting in this business. It's $97 a month. If you can't afford $97 a month, there are other ways to do it. And for you, I'm just going to assume for this video, and I'll make videos in the future, more specifically how to get started with 0, 5,000, 10,000, whatever the case may be. But if you're at 0 and you're looking to get started and you're unsure if this is for you and all that good stuff, you can still do those first 3 things. You can still network, you can still find a market on Zillow free, and you can still get educated on YouTube and podcasts, which is also free. And you go through and you do all those things, and you feel like you know a lot now. Maybe you can save up a couple $100 and get a system. Like for me, PropStream provides the data. We've used a few different skip tracing services, but there's manual ways to skip trace people too. True People Search is free. So if you really want to find like the most free way to do something, well, just for the sake of this video, I'm going to kind of get into the weeds here a little bit, but you can manually go through and find vacant land. Like right here, this lot right here, this is not staged, random lot right here, we're going to click on this. We don't know what's going on, so let's take a look here. And you see it's just a regular lot. I'm not sure if there's a house on it or not, but yeah, there is a house. It says 1968 year built, so I guess there is a house there. Let's see if we can find a different one, maybe right here. Is this one going to be a house too, North Carolina? Year built in 1900. I don't think that's reliable, but either way, what you can do is you can go through, you can manually, all these lots have like houses on them, abandoned houses and stuff. Let's go right here. Yeah, this one's a house too. So I guess that's part of doing it the free way though, is you can't pull a land list and just have all the answers there for you. Let's go to a little bit more populated area where land's selling, and we'll see if we can find a manually vacant lot. Let's see, let's go into this little area over here. This looks like it'll be something. Perfect. So right over here, you got vacant lots everywhere. So now what you would do is you'd want to go into the county appraiser site, and you'd want to pull these lots up and figure out which one has a house built, which one doesn't, and which one you can contact the owner. And if you're doing this the free way, you find the address. Of course, it's a house. You find the address, you go in, you take the address, you go into True People Search, and you look up the mailing address for the person. And within True People Search, it'll generate some phone numbers for you. Then what you do is you go into those phone numbers, and you can call them from your cell phone, text them from your cell phone, and just say, hey, my name is Ryan. I'm buying land in this area. Do you have any interest in selling your land? And just kind of reach out to them like that, and you can be polite. Sorry for the bother, sorry to bother you in the middle of this day. You can approach it in all different ways, but the key is it's just a numbers game. So when you're getting started in the business, you want to be making offers as much as you can. That's really what it's going to come down to, is just making as many offers as possible. And it's easier when you have money to start, when you have a budget and you can afford some systems, because then you can do things a little bit less manual, and you can kind of cast that net out a little bit larger and make more offers. So in summary, how to get started on wholesaling land. We're going to start with getting educated. You're going to find your market, and I recommend it being your local market. You're going to network with other people in that market specifically. So if it's North Carolina, you're going to want to join every North Carolina land group that you can find, and make sure it's not just a bot group. People aren't just like posting random stuff. You want it to actually be a purposeful group where you can go in there and actually just kind of read people's posts and see what's going on and learn, and talk to other people. Hey, I'm new in the market. looking to connect with other people. Like, people love to connect, you know, so Facebook groups is going to be the main thing for me from that. And then number 4, determine how much money you have to invest and go from there. And, you know, like I said, I'll get into that in future videos, but if you're getting educated, you know, you've already learned what to do. You find your market, you're networking. Now you know what you need to do, and it's just about you going and doing it, you know? As long as you have the education, you're going to be nervous on the phones, you're going to be nervous talking to people. It is what it is. As time goes on, you're going to get better, you know? I mean, I was nervous making this YouTube video, but here we are. You know, it's my first YouTube video, and, you know, I'm 16 minutes in, and it is what it is. You know, it's a learning experience, and you're going to only get better from here. Life's not all about perfection. You know, you got to kind of fail forward. That's always been my motto in life. So it's my first video. If you've gotten anything from this video, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in a future video.